A layout of things that make us laugh, a love letter or jewelry box, and a frame featuring rolled paper.
These are the ingredients to today's scrapbook soup.
Today's scrapbook soup has been brought to you in part by Michael's Stores Incorporated, where creativity happens. Michaels.com, Sakura Color Products of America, SakuraofAmerica.com.
Hi, I'm here with Tonya Lutz from Faber-Castell, and she's brought a beautiful layout with her. And I recognize this fun artsy style. That is the work of Mo Saha, but I see you put a cute picture of your puppy on there.
That's my baby, Daisy May.
Adorable. So Tonya, take it away and tell us how we do this layout.
Great. Okay, well, today we're going to be working with the pens that are India ink pens for stamping. We're also going to be adding color along edges, but let's just kick it off with the stamping.
Go ahead and do that. Awesome. So this is a marker that you can actually put on your stamp, and it's totally safe to put on your stamp.
Yes, and as you can see, it's really inky. It has a tough, durable nib on it.
Oh, so you can really just scratch it in there
You
then.
can. It's great because you can put a lot of ink down. You can also, go over other surfaces.
Cool.
So
and will you need to clean your stamp any particular way when you're done?
You can actually use soap and water to clean it. It's a permanent when it's dry.
Oh, great.
So there you go.
Oh, soft monkey's so cute.
Very cute. If you want to punch a hole, we're going to make this into a tag.
Okay. I will do that.
And actually, there's a lot of nice ways to add dimension, and today we're also going to introduce the pigment sticks for that.
Looks like a lipstick to me.
It really does, but you can see it really just glides on, almost like a chapstick.
Ooh, it looks kind of chalky or cranny when it comes on, which is neat.
It really is really smooth. Like, people love it because you can see you can really glide on it.
Have fun with that.
But you can blend it, which again adds a really nice dimension effect.
Okay, cool.
See that?
Ooh, it almost has a watercolor effect now.
Yeah, and actually, I'm glad you said that because you can actually make it into watercolor. This is watercolor paper.
But if it gets into the stamped image, is that going to be okay?
Yeah, it's no problem because they work really well together. It's the ink, the India ink won't bleed, so it's waterproof
the India ink
as
is
well.
permanent.
It is.
That's
and
fantastic.
Light fast, and so here you go. And you know, actually, the India inks work really well on twine, on different types
because I know you said you were going to color that twine.
Yeah, actually, I'll show you that now.
So you can use them on fabric, twine, string. Can you use them on metal and things like that?
Not on metal. It's better on absorbent surfaces. Like you can see, it really is inky.
Oh,
so you can
make your own baker's twine with little stripes. That would be so cute.
You really can. You can coordinate your entire project with the inks, which is really nice.
And I know that I will just show that you also pre-stamped the same way with the markers, all these fun phrase stamps.
Yeah.
And they're really cool.
Very fun.
Very customizable.
Yeah, exactly. So once you punch your hole in the tag, you can actually go ahead and
do you want me to do that for you?
Put that in.
I will do that for you.
Okay, move right on.
Okay, and what's next?
Okay, so next I would like to show you on these pigment sticks that they're really fun when they're water soluble too. You saw it just when you're blending. Again, you can blend and mix colors together.
And water soluble just means that they react with water, right?
Exactly. So it really will release all the pigment into it.
Oh,
so
that's
you can
such a
see
nice
how
deep
smooth
color.
it is.
Yeah.
But when I add the water to it, it takes just a new dimension to it. So you can really create softer color as well.
That's nice. And I see you have a whole bunch out here where you can see where you just put it on and then it's water, put it on and it's water.
Exactly.
I love the way you get so much depth of color when you pull something out and you get that light blue plus the dark blue.
Exactly. It's really makes it very versatile. So you can get really rich colors, like you said, or light.
That is really, really cool. Okay, so we color with the pigment sticks and we have all those circles done. So Tonya, what's next?
Great. Okay, so we are actually going to add color to the journaling.
Okay.
And what we're going to do do is actually just lay down color. You can see here, this is a pencil that has a very vibrant color here, or you can go very light. You can see it's nice. You can really cover a lot of different area.
Is it important at all that your journaling be printed from an inkjet or a laser? Does it matter?
This is actually printed with an inkjet printer.
Okay.
You can use laser, of course, as well. This is watercolor paper, so it's a little bit heavier, which is nice for the next step.
Okay.
But I'll show you you can actually blend colors too, and that's just you can cover a lot of area. Again, it's just really just fun.
I see you're just
adding
scratching it in there, having
Yeah, it's
fun.
really simple. You don't have to be an artist to lay down the color. So here, actually, we've gone ahead and covered the entire page, but I'd love to show you the exciting part about this pencil is that
I love things that react with water. It's that big aha moment, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So you can really see this. This is a pigment that will fully release with water.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So again, you can add a lot of water or a little. So it's very versatile in that way too.
And I know you told me that the pencils are totally made from recycled materials, and I always like a little something green. I'm all about upcycling.
Yes, actually, that is a nice feature. The quality is all the way through it, even to the eco story behind it, where it's reforested wood, and it has also a toxic-free lacquer on it, so it's safe for the workers.
So I can put it in my mouth too, which I always do on my pencils.
But you can see it. When it dries, it'll dry flat.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And I know you cut apart the strips already that are already done.
And the technique that I was using was really just creating like a hidden journal. So these are all little things that I remember about having a puppy, my Daisy May, all the things that she did and the things that I love about her.
Okay.
So I put all these funny little sayings about her in.
I'll take those, thank you. So what's next? We're working on this yellow cardstock, right?
Yes, so we're going to actually add some detail to the cardstock by really just doodling. Again, this is an India ink pen also, so you can see, you can just really literally just
It's amazing to me how a simple triangle just becomes so cool when you add a lot of them. That's always something that was for me. And what did you end up using, I know, to color this in?
To color it in, again, using the brush nib, you can use even coordinating colors if you like, but you're really using just the brush nib that you can really control in a detail as well. You don't have to cover just large surfaces, so that makes
nice. It gives you both the versatility of it. So let's build this page and put it together.
Okay.
I know that we put the sock monkey tag down, and then we put the little pieces of journaling behind it. And then something that I know that you have here that I love to do is you spread the circles around to really bring that eye around the page, and we can put in these great little tags. And let's look at the finished piece once more. That is just, it's a beautiful, it has your hands in it. I love this layout. Thank you so much, Tonya.
You're welcome.
This has been great.
Very fun. Thank you.
And we'll be right back. Take a look at this beautiful keepsake or love letter box. It's got a open container where you can put something nice, a couple love letters, a keepsake. And I am here with Kathy Kromer from Michaels, and you're going to show us exactly how to make this beautiful project.
I sure am. It's nice to be here.
Absolutely. Take it away.
Well, we have these little books that you can buy almost anywhere. They're just little replicas of books, home decor, that we're going to alter. So we started by altering this one with painting it with black gesso.
Okay.
Gesso just primes anything and gets it ready to adhere another type of material. We're going to decoupage paper on this, which we've already done.
And decoupage, you just mean adhere in any way that is easy for you.
Yes, we use gel medium with ours, and it's just got a little bit more body. We're going to take a little bit of transparent burnt umber and a little bit of extender, which gives you a longer open time.
And open time means?
It keeps it from drying.
Okay.
So you'll have a longer time to work before it stays in one place. And we're just
and you use it with an acrylic paint always, right?
Yes.
Fantastic.
And just a little bit. You need to read the ratio on the back. Just a little bit goes a long way. So we're just going to kind of stencil, and then we can rub a little bit.
And what's the difference between pouncing and rubbing when you're stenciling?
If you want a softer look, you can kind of rub it. If you just want a darker, you can just pounce with it.
And I love that you use your fingers. I think that your fingers are one of the best tools, you know?
I am a big finger painter, for sure. So you just keep on going like this. Get this darkened up.
Okay.
And don't fuss with it too much. Just kind of do it and move on.
Okay, I'll take that. Thank you.
And then we have another part. I may need that back for one thing. See how we painted on the sides right here?
Yes, it's beautiful. Oh, you're going to show us how to do that.
I'm going to show you how to do that before we
Great.
move away. So we're going to take a little bit of...
sort of a teal acrylic paint.
It's my favorite color in the world.
I love teal.
And add a little white to it to get a little lighter. And the key to this is to do it in small sections because your paint will start to dry. We'll add
I see you dipping into that extender.
We're going to add a little bit of extender, so we'll have that.
And I love how the white and the teal are creating a very two-tone effect. You're not really mixing them so that they're totally smooth. They're a little bit still white and teal separately.
Right, and that's the key. Just don't overblend everything. Just kind of...
so and what are you using to scratch into it?
A stylus, just a plastic stylus.
You could certainly use a toothpick or a bamboo skewer or something too, yes?
Yes, you could.
Excellent.
Or even like an ice pick might be kind of good. So you just start writing random, whatever you want to write.
Oh, how neat. You just scratch right in there.
Yeah, and it just keeps on going.
That is very cool. I can see all sorts of variations where you would scratch in shapes or little doodles.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah.
So you just keep on going until you get it all done. Just remember to work in small sections.
And the small sections is so that you do it before it all dries.
Right. Otherwise, you'll have a little bit of a mess.
Okay. Cool. And another reason for the extender, of course.
Right. So this one's all finished with the sides. Beautiful. And our first copy has a heart on it. So I want to show you how to make the heart. This is a heart that we've made ahead of time, and it's made with light modeling paste. And you can just take it.
Okay. Show us the light modeling paste and how you do that.
Okay. It looks like this. Kind of looks like a little bucket of icing.
It does.
And palette paper is waxed on it, so you can put this product on there, and then when it dries, you can peel it up. So we're just going to kind of form a little heart.
Are there any rules or anything about how thick it can be or how dimensional?
The thicker it is, the longer, of course, it's going to take to dry.
About how long does it take to dry?
The light modeling paste it will dry in 24 hours.
Okay.
If it's really thick, you might want to consider if you go ahead and put it right on your surface instead of doing it this way and peeling it up.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll do that right there.
I see you put your brush right in water, and I do think that's important when you're working with stuff like this that dries to wash your brushes off right away.
So just put it in there, and even if you don't get back to it for a little bit, it's not going to dry on there.
Yeah. So how did you get this to be black?
I used black gesso right here. It's a primer. It's my favorite primer. And then I just painted it right on here, just like we would here.
And black gesso is different than black acrylic paint because it's more matte and it's more of a primer, right?
Yes, it's a primer, just like your regular gesso. So it gives you more stability, I think, more endurance. So we're just going to peel this off.
Right off of there.
And it just peels right off.
That's cool. Now you can cut this with scissors. Oh, I see you're just ripping it with your hand.
You
even
can.
easier.
If like there was little pieces out of the way, we can trim this one up.
You know, I bet you could sew through this. You could do all sorts of cool stuff.
I bet you could sew through it.
I love this. And how did you get it to be red, which I notice it is on your book?
Let me show you how we did that.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm going to need a new brush. We're going to use two different colors, Paroli Red and Paroli Crimson. And they're fine art colors, so the pigment is much more intense than, say, regular craft acrylic.
Okay.
The black gives you your shadow.
Okay, and two colors of red because?
Because you want more than one. You don't want just a flat red. You want a little
variation.
So again, I will use a little bit of extender. I think I may still have a little bit of turquoise, but we'll be okay.
Well, the more colors, the merrier.
That's
Give
right.
it some more depth.
That's right. So look, we'll just kind of go right over
Paint
this.
it right over there. Okay.
And I love the black that it shines through because it gives you a depth.
I agree. And it does that antique-y thing where there's many, many layers. So
Right.
you're going to add the second red, and then we're going to let that dry, and we're going to put it on the front of the book. And what else are you going to add to it to finish the project off?
We're going to add our wings.
And what are those made out of?
Those are made out of cardboard, and I'll show you that right now. And right here is just regular cardboard that we've taken and cut into this shape of a wing. We peeled this off and whitewashed it with a little paint.
And Kathy, how do you get your project to stand up?
We brought these little feet that we made out of two different dowel cups. They're sold in the little wood department. We just glued them together and then hot glued them onto the bottom.
And here on the finished project, you can see how wonderful it looks. And I see that you brought another project that is similar but different.
It's the same kind of book. We just turned it on its side and made a little jewelry box out of it.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Well, have you ever wondered what to do with all that printed paper that you have left over from scrapbooking? Well, Jennifer McCord joins us from X-Acto, and take a look at this rolled paper frame, because this is what she's going to show you how to do. This is so cute.
Well, thank you. I'm very excited to be here. And like you said, today we're going to look at a rolled paper frame. So let's get started.
Okay.
The way we begin is with a foam board, which is bifolded.
And that means it's going to fold out, right?
And so it folds like so.
Uh-huh.
And what we're going to do is we're going to trim 3 inches off the foam board in order to make a square shape. So
Okay.
I've actually already added some grid lines here. So as we open it up, we can see, we take our knife and you measure 3 inches using your cutting mat. And we'll start by tracing lightly here.
Okay. You know, I love working on a cutting mat. Obviously, when you're working with a craft knife, you need a mat underneath. But when you have all these grid lines on the mat, you can actually use those as a guide for when you're drawing or cutting lines.
And we'll continue down,
On the other side.
again lining up with our previous cut.
Now we're using a small folded board here, but there are also big pieces that you could use, and you just have to cut them to size, and you just cut 2 pieces the same size.
Just like so.
Okay.
So once you've folded off and it'll pitch off,
Right.
then we'll have an exact square.
Okay.
And we'll start by adding a grid line, and then we can move using our knife. We'll cut out the center here. So again, you would want to fold it open, and using your mat and your hobby knife, you would cut out the center, and then
To make the little window.
exactly. So with that window, you can then place a back canvas into the space. So opening it up, using your glue stick, you would place along the edges.
You know, that's good to actually place it behind the frame rather than on the paper, so you don't get glue right in the middle.
That's right, and we press that down. Okay, then we will move forward and create our rolled paper frames. So here we'll want to make strips that are 3 inches wide using a rotary trimmer. So
And this is
one,
a 12 by 12 piece of paper,
that's right.
so it's easily going to cut into 4 3-inch strips.
So this one with the swing out ruler, you can measure it out to 9 inches here, and you cut your first strip. Set that aside, flip it open, and then measure back to 6 inches in the other direction. Then you'll want to cut these in half. So we've actually gone ahead and cut out our rolled paper strips here.
Okay, here, let me take that from
Thank
you.
you. So using a variety of different pattern paper, you have your strips, and then what you'll want to do is take a pen or pencil from home, and you'll go ahead and use that as a guide for rolling your paper.
So that those rolls are really tight.
That's right.
And then they'll be all the same size too.
So as you get closer towards the end, you'll want to add your glue to the edge of the paper, an ample amount, and then we'll adhere that like so.
Okay. Would you like me to hold that for you?
yeah.
Because it takes a couple of seconds to dry, I would think.
That's right. And then we've actually gone ahead and cut a few strips already and rolled them. So then with your pre-rolled, once you have them all collected, you can go ahead and adhere glue to your different squares. So here we'll use some gel glue.
Or maybe the thicker end, Jennifer, what do you think? So that we
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
lots of glue on there, and we really want them want them to stick and not fall off the frame when it's hanging on the wall.
Yep. So we have lots of glue, like you're saying. So we can fill that in and then place these, like you mentioned, at opposite angles as before, so you're keeping up with your pattern.
And I know you were saying earlier that you would probably make all your rolls first and lots of different printed paper, and then you kind of lay it out to see how all the patterns work together. Because when you roll that paper, the pattern changes. It's kind of like kaleidoscopes, you know, every time you turn it, it's going to be something different.
Right.
And here's
then
the last
our
one.
final piece. Then, moving forward, if you want to add an extra touch to the center of the piece, what you could do is use your circle cutter at home and cut out various pictures of family members and pets, making sure to protect the center. as well. So
yeah, I saw there's a disc right here that you would put here. So because all the circle cutters, they have a little point here, and we don't want a hole right in the middle of Kitty's nose, for example.
No, we
right?
don't.
And of course, we could probably just put a photograph just right behind there. That would look very, very, very pretty.
Right.
Well, let's take one more look at the finished frame over here. You also finished it up by adding a little hanger at the top of ribbon, and then you also went around the edge of the board with some ribbon for a really nice finished effect. Jennifer, we just love this project.
Right,
Thank you so much. And we'll be right back. And we're going to finish up today's show with some stamping mediums. And the best thing about these is it's all things we're going to find around the house, right?
Yes, that's right. I always like to see what I can find and get a hold of it. So here's what we're going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is this is a potato.
Right.
You'll probably recognize it as a potato.
We're not having chips, right?
No, we're not. And we're not doing cooking either. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this piece of the potato that I've cut off, and I'm going to use an acrylic paint. And it's important to use acrylic only because a water-based paint is going to kind of sink into the potato and get kind of goopy.
Right.
So we're going to stick with an acrylic, and I am just going to coat it with some paint, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp.
Right.
Just like you
now,
would.
You're saying the acrylic. Now, acrylic is water-based paint, so you're saying that, but basically
like
not
a watercolor.
marker.
That's really what I
right.
meant. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so I'm going to just print, and I can make polka dots, and they're going to be imperfect, which is part of what I like about
nice.
it. Exactly.
That's nice.
Now, you don't have to stick with just the potato as is. No, no, no. We are going to take a pair of scissors, okay, and we're going to get a little inventive in our potato. And I am just going to mark some lines through here. I'm just going to gouge out some messy lines here.
Creative potato work there.
Creative potato work. That's exactly it. And it might get a little bit juicy, so you can just get rid of that potato juice.
Right. So we're going to take off the excess moisture.
Exactly. Then I'm just taking the paint again, and I put it right on my potato there. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp. And this time, you can see some of my lines are starting to come through.
Some different effects.
Exactly. So you can just play, and actually, this is one of those things, usually when we eat food, we like it to be fresh, but the drier this potato is, actually the better print you're gonna get.
Right, and I can imagine if it has sprouts coming out the side, that would make
actually
a
my
cool pattern
favorite
too.
vegetable in the world to print with is celery. Because if you take a big stalk of celery, you know, and it has that big bottom,
and you cut it off,
you cut the whole bottom off, you actually get a flower.
Yeah, it's called a celery rose.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
you learn something new every day.
It has a name.
Yes. So here are a couple other things you can print with. This is this was gum. It was in here originally. It's just a plastic container. And again, I'm going to use my acrylic paint. And now I'm going to make a little checkerboard. And you can usually get at least 2 prints out of something that's made out of plastic. And actually, lots of pill containers make great stamps as well.
Yeah.
Whether they're little packets that you push out, game packaging. By the way, Christmas morning is a great time to find all sorts of fantastic packaging.
To save all the packaging, right?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah,
Isn't that
talking
cute,
of
little
packaging,
checkerboard?
do you want to do some of this packaging?
I do. Cut me some bubble wrap and let's get it going. So let me just switch over to a new piece of paper. Thank you. So bubble wrap comes in big and small sizes, and I'm just going to rinse my brush out. You do want to make sure that you use a dry brush, so I'm just wiping it off in some paper towel. Thank you, Julie. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw some paint on here. And another thing that's great about all these household objects is that really imperfect look that you get that I really love.
Yes. I know you would have torn that bubble wrap.
I
wouldn't
would
you?
have, but you know, we're all different, and that's what makes it so great.
And I probably would have popped it all first. But it's a really pretty
It is, and look how
pattern.
many prints you can get because it's plastic. And so the paint really, really clings into it. Isn't that neat?
That is very cool.
Now, bubble wrap is not the only important thing that you can use. This is my favorite stamping tool in the whole world. I'm sure you recognize this and have a house
lot of those.
full of them. I actually got really upset when I saw some advertisements saying that they're no longer going to be making toilet paper tubes. They have these non-tube kinds.
Oh,
I know.
well, you don't have to buy them.
What will I use for crafting?
I know.
So you can see this is a well-used toilet paper tube. I have stamped with it many, many times. You could use a paper towel tube. And you know, somebody brought into a class of mine, and I thought this was genius. They actually brought the tube from a lint roller. And the reason that a lint roller is so great is because it's hardier than a toilet paper tube. And look at that. is
that
you
is
get these
cool.
awesome circles. I love to just make
And we could
grids with
cut out little
them.
notches around the edges as well and make like
Oh, you
dotted
clever
lines.
duck. I've
and
never even tried that. That is such a smart idea. You know, you can use string also to wrap around stuff to create lines. Very cool idea. So look, you can overlap them. You can play with them. Okay.
You know, this is a really cool technique to get our children scrapbooking with us too.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, speaking of children, I'm sorry, I got really excited, which is because I don't have any kids. But somebody once brought in a Lego to stamp with.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, if only I had children, I would steal their Legos. Okay, so I'm
Lego or
using
Unifix cube.
I'm using the wrong side of a cookie cutter. I'm using not the thin side, but the side you're supposed to hold. Okay, and I'm going to pass this off to you. Thank you. And then you can see it makes a really cool stamp.
And who sent us these projects?
Well, the beautiful flower card is from Nancy Sapp from Virginia, Illinois, and she made those with a potato. And then the words and the crosses were actually carved from a styrofoam meat tray by Chris Tessnier from Alexis, North Carolina.
And we all have lots of those. Julie, thank you so much. And that's today's show. Join us next time as we create a new soup of techniques and projects.
Visit scrapbooksouptv.com for a mix of ideas, a mix of ingredients, a mix of designers, and all of the instructions for every project found on this series of Scrapbook Soup. Create your own recipe for great scrapbooking. This is Show 108. A complete set of all 13 episodes of Scrapbook Soup Series 100 is available for $39.99 plus shipping and handling. A mix of designers, techniques, and projects, all in one complete package to watch anytime. Visit scrapbooksouptv.com to place your order. Today's Scrapbook Soup has been brought to you in part by Michaels Stores Incorporated, where creativity happens. Michaels.com, Sakura Color Products of America, SakuraofAmerica.com.